Welcome into the Fanspeak Network. I am your host, the TD King, Andrew Raub. Joining me tonight, as always, Steve Shoup, and our special guest, the new dad. Has daddom helped or hurt in the best ball draft streets? Bringing in Mr. Jake Wiles. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great. Excited to, it's been a while since I've seen Jake, so excited to talk to him, hear about his BBM sweat.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been not as tuned in the last couple of weeks to your guys' stuff. So, yeah, we got a new one June 1st. She arrived. So,
Nice.
all is well.
Congratulations.
Excited. Thank you.
Yeah, so in the draft streets, has the fatigue set in because of fatherhood, or are you still sharp as a tack?
I still feel like I'm pretty sharp, and she lets me draft. So even when I'm holding her, I've gotten some drafts in. So
there you go.
Yeah, we're doing well.
There you go. Love it. So
tonight we'll be your good luck charm.
Yeah.
Tonight we'll just be talking to Jake a little bit about players he likes, players he's fading a little bit, what contests he's been going into, and then maybe a little peek behind the curtain on the Excel wizardry that is Jake's specialty. So we'll start there a little bit, but let's check in with the chat real quick. Steven WC23, the legend himself, checking in. Hartman checking in. Meg, as always, checking in. She says, "Congrats, Jake."
Thanks, Meg.
And Steven says, "Couldn't make it last night, Meg. Don't take my subscription away." It's funny. So yeah, obviously, best ball subscription for Fanspeak is out now. $34.99 for the entire year, not the week, not the month, the entire year. Jake and I obviously both have it. And before the show, we were just talking about some of the articles that Steve and Meg have wrote. Steve's nice breakdown on the Eliminator and Meg's nice breakdown on the Marathon have helped both Jake and I in those contests. So if you haven't already, go over $34.99. You get to peek behind the curtain for two people who made multiple finals last year. The whole Shoup family just absolutely destroying the finals last year. So it just must be something in the water or something in the genes, because they obviously know how to get there and take down some contests. So again, $34.99. Go look at that information. On real time, hashtag QBs matter. So Jake, obviously you shared it all with us, but just tell the people, like, obviously, you're a financial advisor by day, so you're a smart man. You created an Excel sheet that shows all the contests. You're putting them in there as they come out. You're entering, you're putting in how many you enter. You put in all the data about the contest, what you can max, how much it costs, your ROI, all of that stuff. So just tell the people, like, how does that help you at the end? Because I know you did this last year. How did that help you at the end of the year realize what you're good at, what you're bad at, what the return on investment was, and like what you wanted to focus on this year?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly just do it at first to just track my profit loss. I just like to know. Obviously, Underdog doesn't really have any tools like that, so I like to keep track of what I'm doing. I don't want to throw multiple thousands of dollars worth into something without knowing what I'm getting back. So yeah, I mean, it was a cool breakdown, and I did percentage of advance rate per contest. Funny enough, I was terrible last year in single entries. I don't think I advanced one single entry. Not sure why. But then you obviously need to make finals to get quite a bit of a payback. And I was fortunate enough to make 4 finals, and BBM was one of them. So that obviously, paid for itself and then some. So I just really enjoy the breakdown of kind of per contest, or, how many drafts I've done. And it just kind of keeps me, on kind of course on what I want to do. So yeah, there's not really a ton to it. It's just more for myself. And I know I've shared it with you guys, and I just like to track that kind of stuff. So
yeah, nerding out in the Excel sheets. Hey, but you know what? It works for you. And, I was poo-pooing it last year, but it does make sense, especially for me. I think the most valuable part of it, and if anybody wants to do this, obviously hit up Jake on Twitter and kind of ask him like how to set it up and all that. But I think the best thing for me is seeing which contest I had the best ROI on and the best advance rate, and maybe why, right? Like you can kind of look back then, because obviously, like you said, like Underdog doesn't have a good way for us to track it. So you kind of have to go back, look at all of them. If it's all on one sheet, it's easier for you to pick out the ones that stand out to you. And like you're saying, like you didn't do well in the single contest last year. I think single contest is probably an outlier because it is only one bullet. If you get a terrible room, that might kill it right there for you, right? Like it might not be anything you did. It just might just be because of what the room looked like, right? So I think those ones you can probably take out of the equation a little bit and be like, like it is what it is. It's a single entry. But all the other ones that you're maxing or putting in, some time and effort into, you really want to see which ones that, benefited you the most. So I think it's a good thing for people to have. And obviously it benefited you last year as a multi finalist.
Yeah, and you can manually calculate it if you want. I just find it easier. Let Excel do it for you. I think I had about a 20% advance rate. Between all of my teams, I think I did like 214 teams last year. So it just kind of kept track of that. And it's funny. I would like to add a little bit more to it as we go. Of like, all right, how many? What's the percentage of advance rate? Like maybe per date or a time stamp of where you are in the summer. And obviously last year was my first year drafting best ball. So it took me a little bit to get my feet under me, but I'm excited for this year and see how we do.
Yeah, man. The best ball degeneracy has set in for you. I absolutely love it. So let's talk a little bit before we jump into a BBM draft, which we will be getting to, chat. So hang tight. But as you're drafting here, what's your favorite strategy so far? Are you early running back, late wide receiver, early wide receiver, late tight end? Like what draft strategies do you like to go into a draft hoping you can do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I try a couple different strategies here and there, but like I was telling Steve before the show, I mean, I find myself a lot of times taking 2 RBs to start, and I still feel like I have a pretty good receiver room. And then you have 2 like elite running backs to start, and then you can kind of build, either a 5 RB build or a 6 RB build off of that. Or sometimes I'll do 1 running back, 2 receivers, but I do find myself through 7-8 rounds, typically well balanced. With 3 RBs, 4 receivers, or 2 and 5 if they're 2 elite. I do take some early QB like Lamar and Josh are there, and Jaden Daniels some, but I have found myself taking later tight end. I think Mark Andrews is my highest exposed tight end at the moment. I knew I'd sprinkle in McBride and Brock Bowers. It's just I feel like my team's not nearly as good when I do that. So it's just preference. I know obviously everyone has their own. But yeah, that's kind of how I build it. I've been really well balanced this year.
Can I just say you're an Eagles fan, right?
Huge. Yeah.
But you're not taking Jalen Hurts?
I have taken.
I heard Josh. I heard Lamar. I heard Daniels even.
I take some Hurts. But I mean, I know his ADP would have fallen if the tush push was banned. But yeah, I mean, he's a great naked option as well. Yeah. If you just you don't necessarily need to stack with him. Unfortunately, like they're a pretty condensed offense, and 3 of his 4 basically guys are going in the first, 4 or 5 rounds. You can backstack with Goddard, but so I don't find myself taking him that often, quite frankly.
Yeah. One thing, and I mean, I'm kind of roughly around the field on all 4 of those guys. I think I'm probably the least on Lamar just because he's sandwiched between Allen and Daniels, but with Hurts, I'll take him naked, or a lot of times the guy I'm stacking him with is my Saquon team. And I'm saying I'm getting every single touchdown that the Eagles are producing.
Yeah.
Which should be a lot of touchdowns.
No, I agree. I mean, and I don't think you're like handcuffing yourself by doing that.
No, I don't think so.
If they're on the 1-2 yard line, it's either going to be Saquon or Jalen.
Well, it's just such a good offense. Like they're gonna be top 3 in scoring, and I personally like doing that a lot, but yeah,
I agree.
So going through your drafts, is there any players, and it doesn't have to be position specific, it's whoever just comes off the top of your head, but any players that when you see them coming up, you're like, that's a target for me, like that's somebody I want?
I love Jacoby Myers for some reason. I just keep clicking him, especially as a receiver like 3 or 4. I think he has a really good base, and it seems like an offense that he's going to get a ton of targets. So I like Jacoby Myers. I'm trying to think who else. For some reason, I was telling Andrew before the draft, Rachaad White is like my highest exposed running back at the moment. Yeah. And I know this Bucky has all the hype, but I still feel like that. I know Liam Cohen's not there anymore. But I do feel like they still are going to use Rachaad White. He's a great pass catcher out of the backfield. Just feel like Bucky's not like a every down back. So yeah, I know that's a kind of a not very good answer, but
I mean, if you tuned into our Monday night show, you would have seen Justin and we talked about every single RB2. And when we got to Rachaad White, we were like, Yes, like it's a good target. I mean,
Yeah.
and because of the things that you're saying, plus we've already seen him be an RB1 for that team. If Bucky goes down, he slots right back into that role he had before Bucky even existed there, and that is extremely valuable as where he's going. So, yeah, we're I think we're all in on Rachaad White as well.
And again, a really good offense.
Yeah.
That's going to probably be in the red zone a lot. And then two other guys that I'm just looking at my exposures. I really like Garrett Wilson. I do think that he's kind of has like he's just by himself there. They don't really have anyone else. And then I also like Jerry Jeudy. I know the quarterback situation in Cleveland's a little bit up in the air, but I feel like, it's just more like kind of like Neighbors last year. I kind of like guys that are going to just get a ton of volume, no matter kind of how the team is.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to point out, specifically about Rachaad White is, people talk about the Sean Tucker fear, and I just think it's so unfounded. The only games Sean Tucker went off last year were either blowouts or injuries when Rachaad White missed a couple games. And, in the playoffs, we saw as Commanders fans, like it was Rachaad White and Bucky Irving.
Yep.
Sean Tucker didn't touch the ball at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we beat that ass. All right. So what about when you're in draft?
Well for us against the Eagles?
Yeah, and then got routed, but it was a fun ride. I mean, it was a fun ride. So when you're in drafts, polar opposite, is there somebody coming up in a round where you're like, oh, terrible? Like, there's no way I want that dude on my team.
I tell you what, a guy that I don't click at all is Jawan Jennings at the moment. I think his ADP is absolutely ridiculous. I saw a good thing on Twitter. I forget who tweeted it, or X, if we want to call it X. He had basically the reins last year. Ayuk was hurt. CMC was hurt. He still didn't have 1,000 yards as a receiver. You add Ayuk back to being healthy again. Pearsall's probably going to take a year 2 leap. I can't understand the justification of Jennings at his current ADP. Again, people could argue with me. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I will say it does sound more and more like of all these receivers coming back from injuries, Ayuk's the one. There was a report today that he could start the year in the pup. So you're talking missing the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Taking out the injury side, I think that's a good point. I mean, if Ayuk starts on the pup, then it's going to be a different equation.
Yeah, and they have a good schedule. That helps them a little bit too. Plus, this offense always puts up points. So I think he might be a better weekly winners kind of ordeal. He might go off in a week, and that helps you at that point. But I'm with you. I don't take a ton of them, but I'm not afraid to click him. But
one other guy I wanted to ask you guys about, because I only have 2% of them at the moment, is Tyreek. Are we buying into is this wrist injury a really big deal? Does this open the door for Waddle to be the guy, or is how you guys navigating that?
I'm definitely lower on Tyreek. I wanted to have some of him because Tyreek to me has the biggest range of outcomes. He could be wide receiver 1 to stays 100% healthy. He's 100% healthy. He gets his legs back, whatever. Or he could be wide receiver 31. To me, he truly has that range of outcomes, and not even him getting injured, just his off-the-field antics. If Tua goes down, when Tua was healthy last year, he was wide receiver 15, and in games without Tua, he was wide receiver 35. So it's just a huge range.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel the exact same way Steve does. His ceiling is probably the highest out of anyone in that range, but his floor is the lowest too because of the Tua thing, because of him off the field shit, his wrist. I mean, it's just, he's a mess of a pick. So I'm not going to not click him if he falls a little bit, but I'm not clicking him at ADP. It has to be a fall for me to want to click that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? Bruni says I'm pro Tyreek at his cost. Oh, Bruni. Yeah. He also likes Hunter Renfrow PSI. Or a PSA. So just be careful. Anybody else that you can think of, when you're in drafts, you're like, no.
I definitely think I could answer that better as we go through one. Just look at the exposures. There's definitely guys that I'm I'm not super sold on. Probably another guy that I'm not super heavy on right now. And again, that could change, but DJ Moore. I just think that there's a lot of I just saw a report yesterday that it seems like he and Ben Johnson aren't necessarily getting along too well, and that Ben Johnson's kind of like, we don't have set positions, we kind of like go out. But then another part is that, okay, Ben Johnson with Amonra and J-Mo, they were fabulous. So it's kind of like a guy that like I'm scared to fade a ton, but I don't necessarily love clicking him at the moment.
Yeah, plus and I know a lot of people just aren't high on Luther Burden. I kind of am. They drafted Luther Burden, right? Like Rome was nothing special last year. I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, and it was probably a weird situation for them last year, but like I don't think that there's anything in my mind. There's nothing that tells me Rome is 1,000% better than Burden, and that they're going to use him better than they want to use Burden. I mean, they brought in Colston Loveland as well. Like there's just multiple signs that kind of tell you new regime maybe likes new players a little bit more, and maybe they're just going to try to fit in the other players as they can. I don't know, but the two guys that are in question are the first two that go off the board. So it's kind of hard to want to click them a ton. And I know I've talked to Bruni about the DJ Moore fall, needs to fall for me to even remotely think about getting him. Obviously Bruni on the other side, DJ is fine. Just someone who doesn't like getting yelled at for little shit. Sure. Maybe, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm there with you. Like, I just don't know if I really want to go in on DJ Moore.
Yeah, I agree too. Cause like, I'm like, all right, if you spend first round draft capital, and this is how I feel about Mbuka too. Now he has a more crowded, well, they're both crowded receiver rooms, but like, they don't just draft first round guys to like, we'll use them, sparingly. So I agree with you.
Yeah. My thought on it, I think right now, I agree. I think Moore should fall some. I have him ranked lower. But what's really going to become telling is when we get to camp and presumably Burden's back from his soft tissue injury, Loveland's back from his injury, and how they're utilized. Because if they hit the ground running, I do think Moore could be in trouble some.
Yeah, very true. Definitely an interesting thing. That's what we like to call a camp case to watch, because you just don't know yet. There's plenty of those out, as Bruni and I talked about on Monday's show with a lot of the backup running backs. Like there's a lot of situations where it's like a camp case. I just want to wait and see, and then I'll decide how I want to play that. But yeah, for right now, like I'm not going. I'd rather just take Burden at the ADP value than take DJ Moore or Rome at unless there's a fall, of course.
No, I'm taking Rome a decent amount, because I think he already fell some, like from pre-draft stuff with the Burden and Loveland picks. And like, I understand the coaching staff didn't get him either, but I've heard things that Ben Johnson was high on Rome Odunze last year in the pre-draft process. Whether it's true or not, we'll see. But he also, I think, fits a bigger version, but the JMO X role that, we've seen that role, and, the inside outside slot role produce in this offense. So,
yeah, I like Rome as well. I've been clicking him quite a bit.
Yeah.
I can't buy into it yet. There's other players around there that I think get more opportunities. And, Jake, like you said earlier, I like taking players I know are probably going to get targets. Like there's nothing in my mind that says Rome gets 100, 10 targets. Like there's other people around him that I think can generate more targets, which is where I just tend to lean, I guess, until Burden comes around.
And honestly, Bruni's not going to like this, but the case is still out on Caleb Williams. So, I mean, are we sure Caleb Williams is going to be able to, get the ball in these guys' hands? So,
yeah, if he can't do it this year with Ben Johnson
and that new offensive line,
going to be a little tough to really trust him next year. But they're pot committed at this point, right? For him for at least another 2 years. Like they just are. So yeah. All right. Well, let's get into a draft. That way we can kind of pick your brain as we go through the draft. Steve, do you want to draft by yourself or with me?
I'll draft with you.
Okay. That is fine. And Jake obviously drafting his own team. Let me pull open the board here. Again,
are we doing 20-second clocks or 30?
Yes. Okay. We are a 20-second family here.
Love it.
That's right. So if anybody would like to get in with us, again, we are going to do a BBM. That is the flagship contest, $25. Yep, this one right here. Again, tons of money up top for everybody. $2 million. Golly, I don't know what I would do with $2 million, but I'm sure I would have fun spending it. If you won $2 million, Jake, how much are you leaving in the Underdog account?
You're going to hate me. Probably 10 grand.
Oh my God. Like,
You're
if I
also
would've
talking to the
guessed,
wrong person.
I just say, yeah, my financial advisor over here definitely isn't leaving a bunch of money in there.
Maybe
I thought-
20. Like, what do
I
you
said-
need? What do you need more than 10? And what do you need more than 10 or 20,000 in Underdog?
I mean,
like,
no, but I mean, I don't know if I keep 50 in there, that feels right.
You're never going to need 50 grand at the drop of a hat in Underdog. So I just feel like upload it back, go get some, get some return on it. And then if you need more, upload more.
And that's why you're my financial advisor.
Oh my God.
Shit. All right, Jake, I will, I'll count it down here and hopefully we can get ourselves in one. Where are we at here? I'm going to do it on my phone because again, the computer blows trying to get into this shit. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter. 2 more to start. 1 more to start. You in?
We're good.
Oh, tits. Let's go. All right, I'm going to pull it up here for the people. Everyone can see. I've joined the hell that is slow drafts. Just there's I think I have 12 going right now. It makes me so sad.
How many German Shepherds did you get in?
Oh, 2.
Wow.
I didn't even realize it was going by so fast. Then Jake texted me and was like, oh man, it filled up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was planning on maxing it, and I got 10 in. And by the time I got to do more, the slows weren't an option anymore. So it filled fast, but luckily I got 10 in.
Yeah, I knew it was going to fill fast, and so I did a couple fast the first night, and then like before I went to bed that first night, I put in 10 slows, and then the next morning I was like, oh, because I was going to do 10 and 10 fast, 10 slow. And I was like, that's not going to happen. So I threw in 4 more slows and, finished up with fast. So,
yeah, Mike Rob just reminding the people that I indeed did mess our last draft up together, Steve. Forgot to pick somebody and it just auto picked whoever for us that time. Oh, yeah, it auto picked Quentin Johnston. That's right. Yeah. And I was like, oh, sorry. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you. Jake, it looks like you can get some business on stream here. Meg saying we all need you as a financial advisor.
Come on down.
All right, so Jake, you are in the 2 spot. You are on the clock now. Steve and I are in the 7 spot. Do we know? I know I've drafted a ton with Slick Willie. I don't know who that is, but I've drafted a boatload with that dude for some reason. If you are in the chat and in with us, please let us know so at the end we can look at your team. You went Homer pick Saquon Barkley, aka the number 2 pick. So that makes sense.
Tough. It's tough not to click him. I have every now and then click JJ there. But I just feel like I love my team a lot more when I go RB there.
Steve, we are up. Puka, Neighbors, Genty.
Let's go. Let's go, Puka.
Pookie. Oh, my darling from a few years back.
Now, do you guys is there a world here, which I think is a possibility that Devontae Adams outscores Puka?
Oh, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like I think Matt Stafford's a very nice value. It sucks that he has next to nothing on the ground ever. Yeah. Like that man does not run unless he really has to, and it's usually a sack. But if he had an ounce of rushing ability, he would be a tremendous value with the talent that he has around him. So yeah, I like him at value, but damn, I wish he ran at least a little bit. Like 2 rushing touchdowns, and like I don't know. 150 yards, like that's all we ask. He's gonna get like 40 yards and maybe he falls in once.
Yeah,
it's absurd. He's also older now, so I get it. I get it. All right, Steve, we're coming up 2 picks before us here. We got Derrick Henry, Brock Bowers, Achan, McConkey, Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving. So Bowers, Achan, McConkey, Taylor, Irving.
Let's go Achan.
Achan. Come on down. All right, so that gives us Achan and Pookie. Oh, by the way, I am labeling all our streams, Steve. So if we do stumble into a nice payout, I will be contacting you and figuring out how much I need to take out for taxes before I send it to you.
Sounds good.
What is this? Our dad is Willie Pops, but Slick Willie name makes me laugh. Willie Pops, nice. Willie Pops. Okay, not to get you in a weird mindset about your dad, but Willie Pops makes me think of like popsicle that looks like a bachelorette party would have it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's what a Willie Pop sounds like. So not to make you think of your dad in that fashion, but you said it, not me. I just want to put that out there.
Did we?
Did we? Yeah, where are mom and dad Shoup? I don't ever see them in the chat. What are they doing?
I don't know. Yeah.
Tell them
No,
get the TV dinner out.
They typically watch most shows, so I'm sure they're watching.
Oh, maybe they watch from the shadows. They're silent watchers. I like it.
Man, we got some RB fall here. I got JT at 23.
I love JT.
Same. Would it be crazy to go 3 RBs?
It's not.
I'm going to try to be a little different here.
Oh, Adams over Higgins. That's where I think I don't know I could do that.
He's leveraging against us.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But actually, I will say I bring up Adams a lot to the front end of the third round because not necessarily over Higgins, but over Harrison, over Hill, over McLaurin, over JSN. Yeah.
See, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong here. I think if we're talking about a guy who I think is a little bit too high, I think T. Higgins is too high.
Yeah, but I semi agree with you, but look at what he did last year. Okay, hold on. Steve, we're on the clock. I kind of either want Chase Brown or Kyron. Personally.
Okay, I was going to say maybe pull up Mike Evans for the correlation against with the A chain.
Okay, man. As an RB guy, I'm surprised that you want to do that.
I think we can maybe get somebody on the way back. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Chase Brown a lot, but I wouldn't mind getting some correlation. Opens up Baker for us as a primary quarterback. So,
okay. Yeah. So I get your case there, Jake, about the Higgins thing, but he performed so well last year, even with Chase on. The thing I always look at is if Chase ever gets hurt, T. Higgins is a first round pick. Like you're getting him here, like that. I mean, look at what he did even with them the very last week of week 17. Like he absolutely he just has those potential weeks. I don't know Adams has that level of potential weeks. I mean, I do agree with you though. Adams probably outscores almost everybody there outside of Higgins.
Like I think Higgins is the one who I could see it being either way. What I would say, like Higgins finished maybe 5th in points per game last year, and that was dealing with injuries, dealing with the contract situation, all that kind of stuff. Like what I like about the Bengals in general this year is nobody's coming off a major injury. Nobody's holding out. Like they could just hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Someone's pretty much lobbying for you to have
tax-free for Steve.
Tax-free.
That's a great comment right there.
All right, Steve, we are up. Running backs did go. Next one up is Amari and Hampton. We have Ted McMillan, Daniels, Hunter, James Williams.
You want to go Daniels?
Steve, come on. Does a fucking frog bump his ass when he hops? I mean, yeah, we're taking Jane Daniels.
Yeah. Like I just, we can backstack him later.
Debo with the best value on the board of Zach Ertz.
Yep. And just, to me, Daniels is such a good value in this area. 4th round.
Yes.
How are you guys? How are you guys navigating Rashee Rice? Do you like him at current ADP? Just wanted to ask you guys that.
My take is he's definitely a 3rd rounder to me. He is not as volatile as Hill, but he's a guy who, if everything goes well, he could be a top 10 receiver, maybe even top 5. I think that's pushing it. But what people aren't taking into account is last year was no Hollywood. Last year, Kelsey started off slow. So had the season, even without Hollywood, and Worthy was just getting going. I know through the first 3 games, he averaged 18 points or whatever, but would he have kept that average for 17 games with just Kelsey and Worthy, getting more involved? I don't know. And I think he's good. Again, like I said, I think he's a 3rd round receiver. But to me, my guess is more often than not, Adams smashes him.
Yeah. I tend to feel the same way. I mean, I think, with Xavier Worthy taking a year 2 leap, it just doesn't. It feels like he's a tad too high.
You're up again.
And I do think Hollywood is going to have a pretty decent role. Like I don't think he's a 0.
Yeah. That was a good pick. If he was still there, I was going to ask Steve if we could take Cortland Sutton, but damn it.
Yeah.
He's another one of those guys, like just looking at his seasons the last 3-4 years. I mean, like, and Bo Nix proved that he could be, pretty viable quarterback. It's just like he sets a nice baseline. You know, he's probably never going to be like, you know, receiver one, but he's definitely going to be, I think, steady Eddie. And I think a lot of times in these contests, that's
he's
what
also one of the best red zone receivers in the league. You know, like we saw it with Russ, we saw it, you know, with Stidham, we saw it with, of course, Bo Nix last year. So yeah.
Steve, we are coming up next. We got Joe Mixon, RJ Harvey, who is now joined by JK Dobbins, Calvin Ridley, Chuba Hubbard, Ken Walker.
Let's go Mixon.
Take a little Mixon. You're not worried about Chubby?
I'm not. I think Mixon, you know, his usage last year was incredible. He missed a couple games. He still had 11 rushing touchdowns. The Texans' red zone rate had gone way down from the year before. So if it starts to bounce back, kind of normalizes, I just am a big fan of what his upside could be in that offense. Their offensive line, I know we got Tunsil, so they lost their best offensive line player, but collectively they might be a better unit. And also just with better coaching with a new offense coordinator, new offensive line coach. So I just think there's a lot of upside there.
Yeah. And navigating off of that is, I mean, I love CJ Stroud's ADP at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Rice will be drafted after the 10th round next year. Just remember, Thad told you so. Okay. Duly noted. Fantasy receipts, get in here. Clip that.
Yeah, it's a bold prediction.
I mean, what I will say is there's just a lot of young guys in that room, and you know, Rice has had his own off the field issues, and he's coming off a major injury. I know right now he looks great, but you know, does he have the same quickness that he had before injury? You know, all those things are a factor. So we'll see. And like I said, I'm drafting him where he's going right, or you know, more if he falls a couple spots. But I do think there's more risk there than most people are allowing for.
Yeah. Are we 100% like, is there a possible suspension still looming here? Like, this is insane that it hasn't been addressed yet.
Yeah. Like apparently it hasn't happened because it's such a complicated issue because so many like people were involved, and it's like, oh, not a good
Steve,
thing.
we are up on the board here. Joe Burrow, Travion Henderson, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy, Deebo Samuel.
You want to do the Deebo stack?
Oh God, Fat Deebo does not look good at camp right now. I'll tell you that right now. But
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. It makes sense. But
yeah, especially when he's going to be the number one receiver when McLaurin gets.
Oh my! Stop it! McLaurin is not going anywhere. They're fucking paying that man. He's taking an extra holiday. All right, that's what's happening.
I just don't. I mean, I love Burrow, but you know, we don't have anything stacked with him.
I know.
And the, you know, Godwin, we already have Evans, but we're probably not taking Baker since we went Daniels. And then Jeudy, I know, Jake, you said you're high on him. I'm a little down on Jeudy just because I don't think we're giving enough credit for Tillman when they were both healthy and on the field together last year after the Cooper trade. Tillman actually had more routes, had more targets, had more yards per route run than Jeudy. I mean, it was very close, don't get me wrong, but this could be very much a 1A, 1B situation. And right now we're treating it like a 1 and a massive drop to 2.
Yeah, no, I agree. I saw you write up today, actually, or your tweet about Tillman.
And that, like, we're treating it like Metcalf and Calvin Austin, when I think it's more like the 49ers or the Colts, where it's like two guys in the same range. And don't get me wrong, Jeudy could still be the 1A, but I just think it's a little closer.
How dare you disrespect Roman Wilson?
So I'm assuming you love Calvin Austin at his current value, because I have a ton of Calvin Austin.
I'm hedging and taking both Steelers receivers there, Austin and Rome.
Yeah,
I mean, they're free at the end, whether it's part of a stack or not. Like,
and if we get somewhat decent Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's definitely going to throw the ball around.
And here's the thing: like, Aaron Rodgers last year finished as like quarterback 15 in total points, quarterback like 17 in points per game. If you take out like the 1 week wonders like Jimmy Garoppolo and stuff like that, and Joe Milton. So, you know, he wasn't like terrible last year, and both Adams and Garrett Wilson produced.
All right, we are up, Steve. Matt Golden, Jaden Reed, Diggs, Shakir, Ayuk, Hawkinson,
Golden or Diggs.
Oh, you know what? I like the upside of Golden.
Okay.
Shakir goes. When we're coming back around,
Yeah, I
we're
think
up
we
in
should
9.
take
Baker will
running
be
back.
available if we want to do that.
We could do Baker and just stop at 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't hate that. The other options for running backs around that is going to be like Jordan Mason, maybe B-Rob, maybe Pacheco if he falls.
Yeah. I'm okay with Pacheco. B-Rob, I'm kind of out on like at cost right now. I think Eckler is a way better value pick. I've said it before, like when at the end of the year, including the playoffs, Jeremy McNichols was taking carries away from B-Rob, but he was not taking away Eckler's role. So,
Steve, do you remember the pick we wanted to take as our last pick in the last draft, and he was taken? We're like, how this this guy never gets picked. He makes sense for us because he's a stackable player. I'm not putting it out there, but I think that should be our last of that position. Just saying. Just putting that out there, especially in BBM. It's nice to get one of those guys, So let's see if we can't do that this time, and somebody doesn't snipe us on a random dude. I mean, come on, who does that?
Yeah,
it's funny you brought up B-Rob because that is another guy that I have maybe clicked once or twice out of 100 some drafts. I agree. I don't see. The only outcome I see is his role going down. I don't really see.
Here's a question I have for both of you: is that because I'm still okay with B-Rob? Hold on. What we're gonna be up is there's nobody else there right now that's really gonna take his role away because Eckler's old. I mean, unless they bring somebody in, how does that not make sense? Steve, we are on the board though. Downs, Cooper Kupp, B-Rob. We can take Baker. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, am I going to get you to do a 2 QB build?
I know this is shocking. I will still probably try and convince you, but
that's a great 2B. You don't really need a third. Like the way I look at it is your third quarterback going to outscore Baker and Jaden?
I mean, yeah, if he does, we're probably losing this whole thing, right? Like,
well, the counter argument is Jalen Hurts last year. If you did Jalen Hurts 2 quarterback build and you only had 1 quarterback for the remaining weeks of the playoffs, you either didn't make the finals or you got killed in the finals, probably. Unless your other quarterback was Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, for B-Rob, like I still like him. Now I know he kind of fell out of favor, which is the part that I don't like, is that how much does Cliff Kingsbury truly just hate B-Rob? But there's nobody else there. If they don't bring somebody else in, I mean, Eckler has his issues. They have a rookie. I don't know. B-Rob just kind of falls into the workload, right? I mean,
do you think he loses some role from like possibly Debo around?
Sure, a little, but I mean, Debo, they can't just put him back there as the running back. Like that's just not. He's going to get killed.
Yeah. Challenge accepted.
Right.
But I mean, it's just when we saw everything on the line last year, and you have Jeremy McNichols getting carries, it's like.
Yeah,
I don't feel great about that. But Eckler, even though he was coming off 2 concussions, was still back there in his entire role. So maybe if Eckler's concussion free, maybe he actually eats in more. I think we do need to keep in mind Anthony Lynn, former Chargers coach, is what, running backs coach or running back coordinator or something like that.
So what are you saying, that they're going to bring in Gus Bus? Also, we're on the clock here.
I don't mind Tyron Tracy here.
Do you want to take? I mean, we don't have a tight end. I kind of like taking Andrews or Ingram as well. Najee.
We can take a tight end. Let's go Andrews. I like Andrews a lot.
Yeah, so I kind of want to just get one there before they really fall off. Now I'm fine waiting on tight ends, but I at least like to get one that I like. But in 8 picks here, I do agree. We probably should take running back. There are like 3 here that I like taking. So hopefully some of those guys are still available.
Are we buying in? I saw today actually that Miles Sanders was taking first team reps at Dallas.
No.
Like, what are we doing here?
No.
But what I will say is, I think if B-Rob was going where Javonte is going, then I would take him some. But he's just going like 20 picks ahead of where I would feel comfortable taking him.
I would rather take Phil Maffa over Miles Sanders. And Phil Maffa was a 7th round running back.
I'm not drafting. I'm just saying I found that odd that he was taking first team reps. But I agree. I mean, I think there's a couple of RBs that I would take over B-Rob, kind of in the same range. I know you guys are big Scatabo fans. Like, how are you navigating? Because I still think Tracy still has, decent role in that offense.
I think Tracy. I would take Tracy over B Rob because I think as much as I like Scattaboo, I consider it very similar to the Steelers. And I saw you took Warren. I think Tracy's the Warren. I don't think you're going to get, outside of a major injury, like a monster year from Tracy, but you're going to get a lot of usable weeks.
Jake, do you see Mike Raub's comment?
I mean, that's not surprising. You're getting in like boomer territory. So.
I know. Again, it's shit. We're up, Steve. I'll address Mike Raub. Shoup. Yep, I'll say Shoup is one of the guys I like, so I'm cool.
He's a fun click. I actually like Charbonnet a lot.
They're gonna run the absolute piss out of the ball. And Mike Raub, I've told you this once. I'll tell you again. It's signed by Derek Stevens, the owner of Circa. It's just cool. I just like it. He put Go Commanders on it. So suck it. All right, Trebek. But at the end of this thing, his calendar is older than the hairs on his toes. That made me laugh pretty hard right there. Well done, Mike Raub. Well done. Oh shit. Jake, I'm gonna check out your team here. You are currently 1-3-4-1. Purdy, Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Warren, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Jacoby Myers, and George Kittle. Not bad. Do not hate.
Yeah, I went two RBs to start and then tried to fill out the receiver room, and we got a little bit of fall on Jeudy and then Jacoby as well. So, kind of sticking to.
You are on the clock if you don't know.
I'll wait till after you make the pick. But I love the Kittle pick. Kittle's the one elite tight end that I do take. I think I'm 12% on him right now.
Yeah, he's also like the best value.
Yeah, I think Kittle could score just as much as Bowers and McBride. Exactly. And we're talking about Ayuk possibly not being healthy to start the season. I mean, they lost Debo. It's just a insane spot.
Golf and Prescott, little falls here as well. Interesting. All right, let's see. Steve, we are 4 picks away. We are 2-3-4-1. Got Golf and Prescott. Obviously, we don't need to do that. Javonte, Colston Loveland, Marvin Mims, Christian Kirk, Jack Besh, Hollywood Brown, Jaden Blue, Tajay Spears, Njoku Kraft. Anybody stick out there to you?
Probably Jack Besh. I think he kind of just has the number 2 receiver role. Obviously, Bowers is like the alpha, but whereas some of those other guys, like I don't think we can say that for sure, like Kirk or Mims.
Kirk, I'm afraid to miss out on. It's a camp case for me. I want to see how they're using him there because, like, does he play more than Jaden Higgins? Does he completely just spell Jalen Knoll? Like, does Knoll even get on the field if Kirk is out there? Because I feel like Kirk's a really good value if they use him correctly. All right, so Jack Besh is the call. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I feel like, and I know this is only my second year doing this, but I feel like this year, as opposed to last year, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot more unknowns. As far as and my intrigue is the rookie running backs. Like there are so many obviously rookie running backs that could be ones basically from the jump. So it's like tough to navigate. Like I still like Ramondre Stevenson. I took him. I just feel like he could still have some sort of a decent role. Like I don't know if Travion Henderson, I know you don't like him, but
hell no.
I mean, Vrabel's going to run smash mouth football. And I feel like Ramondre Stevenson's still going to have a role.
I think Ramondre is similar to the Tracy and Warren. I think he's got a little bit more touchdown upside. I just think there's ways where look, I think Vrabel and McDaniels, you can get in his doghouse fast. If Ramondre fumbles like he did a year ago, he's in trouble. But if he hangs onto the ball, I think he's got a role. I think McDaniels oddly enough, with the Raiders, it was the Josh Jacobs show. With the Patriots, in his previous stints, it was always a 2 running back team. So, is Henderson just the better James White? And,
But Vrabel ran the piss out of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, it's also Derrick Henry. Like
that is, I mean, that's valid. That's
valid. Who's going to get carries?
Henderson's split role in college,
Yeah, but I think that was the system though for Ohio State too, is that they wanted to run 2 guys.
Sure.
Steve, we are up, by the way. We got Jordan Love, Jaden Blue, Tucker Kraft, McCarthy, Kincaid, Goddard, Ferguson, Rashad White.
Smash.
I'll say Rashad White. I figured that was easy. Just putting that up there with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, that feels nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are 2-4-5-1, by the way. A lot of options here at tight ends. Any of these guys stick out to you that you like? Kraft, Kincaid, Goddard, Ferguson. I know which one I like the best there.
I mean, I like Kraft and Goddard and even Ferguson, not as high in Kincaid. But I don't know. Like, do we want?
Do you just want to wait?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Steve,
I can read you like a book. All you got to say is, I want to wait right now. Yeah, I got you. 10-4, 10-4. So in your mind, are we already going 3 tight ends then? Or are we still going 2?
We might be able to get by with 2. I mean, I think Andrews is like the last guy you can take and still go 2.
You think we can get Andrews and a little Zach Ertz? Are you satisfied with 2 with those 2?
I would be, and I mean, it's also something we can maybe tack on somebody in the final round, depending on how the rest of our rooms look.
I also don't hate Pat Freiermuth. I feel like he's still a value because if they really don't add somebody, and like he's the number 2 go-to guy, probably right behind DK. So
I mean, look at what Rodgers, like at Kimmerer's 2020, 2021. His MVP year, he just decided Robert Tonyan should get 13 touchdowns,
Yeah.
And it was because they're going to double Devontae Adams in the red zone, and Tonyan gets 13 touchdowns.
As people were calling him Tutty Tunyon, because that's all he did was just score touchdowns. Absolutely incredible. Jake, you are 3 seconds. There you go. Sorry, I didn't know if you were paying attention or not. All right, we got four picks here. So in 4 picks,
by running back.
We got Jaden Blue, Tank Bigsby, Tyler Algier, Austin Eckler, Roshan Johnson, Braylon Allen, Jalen Wright.
I'm feeling better about Roshan with
Steve. Yeah,
with Chubb and Dobbins, those were the 2 guys we were dodging, and they both went elsewhere. So.
I'm telling you, Roshan, man, it's Roshan season.
Year 3 of Roshan for Andrew might actually finally pay off.
Hey, that's right, man. That's why you always keep working at it, all right? Because it's going to pay off.
I really agree with you. I mean, like we saw last year, Ben Johnson loves using a 2 RB system, and I feel like Roshan could play the Montgomery role.
You
want
to pull him up?
Steve, you don't even gotta tell me. All right, that's 100% yes. Love Roshan Johnson. What's gonna happen is like a little bit into training camp, they're gonna just sign some other schmuck, and it's gonna be just a muddy mess.
Like the Patriots cut Antonio Gibson, and they sign Antonio Gibson. Or Tank Bigsby gets traded there for a 7th rounder or something like that.
Yep, something will happen. Just Roshan just always getting boned. So our running back stable right now is Devon Achane, Joe Mixon, Charbonnet, Rashad White, Roshan Johnson, all on different buys, Steve. We are capitalizing in this market, Steve. I don't know if you remember our last draft. Absolutely barely had anyone on the same buys. It feels good. Same thing. We have only 2 on the same buy with wide receivers as well.
It must be the room tonight because I was just looking at my team. I don't have 1 player on the same buy other than the stack with San Francisco.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, like it, and I know people were talk about the bye week bros and stuff. My philosophy is if you overbuy your team, you can actually lose your playoff spot with that week. Like if you have a week with 70 points because you got 6 guys on the same buy, you're not making that up. Like that's really tough to make up.
Steve, question for you as far as, and obviously both of you can answer this. How are you navigating like the Cleveland room with quarterback? I'm high on Judy and you are high on Tillman.
Yeah.
How are you drafting? Who are you drafting as the back stack?
I'm drafting the quarterback in Superflex, not in regular, just because honestly, I think it could end up being 3 different starters this year.
Fair enough.
Like the Giants, I feel like are Wilson and Dart, like Winston. And this is one don't be surprised if Winston gets traded to the Browns or Saints or something like that. But I feel like you can navigate that. You could take both. You could just be like, hey, I have early buys. I'll take Wilson. I've got late buys. I'll take Dart, whatever. Let's see. What do you want to go here?
Yeah, I was gonna say Tillman's here. I mean, I'm fine with taking Tillman.
I'm bullish. I mean, there's some other guys like Romeo Doubs.
You could take your stack with Eckler. He's still there too. That's why
I consider that.
I mean, sure. If he makes it back, maybe. But
he's like not making it past 167 if he falls to me. So
okay. Well, 10-4. No, I got a dart up the sleeve potentially at the end here. Got a little BBM, low owned player probably. To answer your question, if I do want to draft a Browns player, if I need a quarterback to give me serviceable points at the beginning of the year because I have a rookie or whatever I'm not confident in, I'll take Joe Flacco if I want to. I'm probably on Steve's, but I'm not going to take a lot of them. If I want to be different and I have two good quarterbacks and I want a third one, I'm taking Shedeur just because at the end of the year, if they completely suck, they're going to throw his ass in there, and at least you can probably get some fantasy points because he's going to be running for his life. That's the way I look at it.
I've taken Shedeur a couple times, just over drafting quite a bit because I do think he ends up the quarterback. I think he's the most talented quarterback. He was a first-round grade. I think he's just the most talented.
Why did they take Dylan Gabriel?
What do we?
This is the thing. I think the coaches wanted Gabriel. The owner and management pushed for Shedeur, and I agree. Like, I thought Shedeur was a better, not a great quarterback prospect, but he was definitely a better quarterback prospect than Dylan Gabriel. No question in my mind. But if the coaches believe, it's going to be tough to overcome that. I mean, I know it's early. Like today, Dylan Gabriel had the first team reps or whatever. I mean, everyone's going to get first team reps on that. Even Kenny Pickett. But the reality is only 3 of those guys are going to be on the roster. So I have a tough time drafting when one of these quarterbacks could get cut or traded. And I know most people think it'll be Kenny Pickett, but it might not be. It might be one of Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, the Gabriel one, the as far as just drafting goes, like I just don't understand why you would take 2 rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
Snap call.
Yeah. I was like, oh, please don't take him. Oh, thank God. Continue, Jake. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I'm so perplexed on which I'm not because it's Cleveland, but
it's tough. And that's why I think we could see 3 of these guys. Like we could see both Gabriel and Shedeur get
all
started.
In one game. Every quarterback, because there's 4 of them, gets a quarter.
Yeah, they get a quarter or a series.
Duo it out. Whoever scores the most points in their quarter wins the next week's starting job.
I mean, it could be. It's not great.
What are they doing? It just makes no sense to me. 4 quarterbacks, you trade for one, you get Joe Flacco, you bring him back, and then you draft 2 rookies. What do we? Yeah. I mean,
for my Cleveland exposure, like if Flacco plays even half the season, I'll be so excited because I think Judy will just eat with Flacco.
Yeah, and that's my other issue with Judy, and like Tillman is at least a low cost. Like Judy and even Njoku, it's like, what happens in the playoffs? Like I actually like these guys better in formats like the Eliminator because early on I think they're fine.
Yeah. But
Judy with one of these rookies could be not fun.
Yeah, I agree.
that whole offense could be not fun.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Njoku's fine because like dump down territory, right? Just to get it to him. But
they drafted Fannin, so maybe maybe the season's totally tanked. Like they're like giving Fannin more looks.
Yeah, and they also drafted then 2 rookie running backs as well. Yeah. So it's like they just whatever they do, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The Browns had such a small, minute success story, and then they were like, we're tearing it all up. We suck again.
All right, what do you want to hear? Do you want to go Keenan Allen? Since we're going to go extra receivers, I think we could take a little bit of a luxury.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've taken Keenan Allen in almost every single draft that I've done in like the past 2 weeks, just because he's never going to go down here once he signs somewhere because he's probably only signing with a contender.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like if there's a chance, like we're going to have at least 8 receivers. I feel like.
We are 2-5-7-2 right now. Like I said, I would like to keep that small bullet for the last RB there.
So I think it's going to be 6 and 8. So if he retires, or maybe he signs somewhere and then he decides to retire because he's like, screw this, like, so what? We still have 7 receivers, including starting with some guys like Puka Nacua and Mike Evans.
Yep. Yeah. So if we go one more RB, so what do we got? We got 2 left.
Yeah.
So that'll give us RB and wide receiver. Are you going to be able to sleep tonight if we go 2-6-8-2?
I'll get through it.
I mean, the 2 here are perfectly fine. Like that's how you take 2 quarterbacks because I get your like Jalen Hurts thing, but again, if these 2 guys suck or they get hurt, the whole thing fucking blows up, and it is what it is. I'm fine with this as well. I mean, hell, I'll take Zach Ertz in my RB or my tight end 1.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely fine with the tight end. The quarterback, it's just from the the injury risk, and whether it's Jalen, like say, Jaden Daniels, the rib injury he suffered, he could have easily missed 3 games last year from that.
Yep.
And then would we still be advancing? So
Yeah.
there's just those little things like quarterback scores. You're going to get the most points from your quarterback position. So, if I'm going to want extra safety from anywhere, it's going to be that. But I totally get it. Like, this is the time. Daniels.
I mean, we don't have to take another RB. We do have 5 that are, of service.
Yeah, but I'm fine taking a flyer here just because we only have 2 clear starters. Like, we got other usable guys, but they're only going to really hit if certain things.
Yeah, Steve, I feel the same way though. I mean, I have Purdy and Stafford right now, and I'm just like navigating here and like, okay, I can backstack. And then I have New York and I have Cleveland, but nothing feels good. I almost rather spend my capital on another position.
Yeah, and that definitely with Cleveland. I mean, New York, at least there's upside with like a Jackson Dart. Like,
yeah.
Steve, so we are going to be next up here for our last wide receiver, Darius Slayton. I know you hate that guy. Andre Yoshivas, Jalen Coker, Adonai Mitchell, Wicks, Royals, Roman Wilson. I mean, we could take shots.
I'd go Slayton. I think he's a starting wide receiver with spike week upside, and his quarterback situation got way better than a year ago. I don't care who it is, like whether it's Russ, Winston, or Dart, it's better than the Italian Stallion.
Okay. All
but
right.
Andrew, to your point about Keenan, like I've taken so much Keenan as well.
It's just
like you're getting probably a receiver 7 that no matter where he goes is going to be some sort of a role.
Yeah.
Nick in here says WTF.
Well, that's his thing. Win the flex.
Oh, win the flex.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna just wait. How many more picks do we have? 8. I'll wait till we get closer and then I'll throw them up there just in case anybody's trying to stream snipe us. We got stream sniped last time. It was like 2 in front of us to 3 in front of us. I was like, who the hell takes this dude?
One late rookie that I do like is Devin Neal. I'm very bullish on Kamara, but I don't think Kendre Miller's a thing. And Taysom Hill, the Saints' true number 2 running back last year, is injured. He's not playing. So there's room for Devin Neal to have a standalone role even.
Yeah, I agree. I also been taking, I know again, Derrick Henry's like the guy, but I really do like the upside of.
Yeah, let's take him. That's fun. That's fun.
I do like the upside of Keaton Mitchell. I don't know how you guys are feeling.
I'm more in the Justice Hill camp. Okay. I know it's 2 year, a year and a half removed from the injury, but he was playing last year and he did play in the games where Justice Hill got injured. But it's another thing where once Hill came back and including the playoffs, Mitchell was only a special teamer. Now, do I think will he be given a chance to earn a bigger role? Maybe, but Hill played well. It's not like Hill didn't play well. So.
Yeah, I like them both. I do like them both.
I'm taking a little Mitchell, but a lot of Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Derrick Henry and nothing for me. Honestly, I just want to.
Also, again, like I've seen people like saying Derrick Henry AJDP is. Sorry, I'll die on that grave. I'm smashing Derrick Henry every chance I get.
I mean, who else are they giving the ball to anywhere that's like within 3 yards? It's Derrick Henry because he's massive and he's going to kill everyone in his way.
And the one thing I will say to Justice Hill in 15 games last year, because he missed 2, he had 4 10+ point games, including one that was like 17 and one I think that was 18. So there's upside there for him in a standalone role. Usually when they're playing from behind, which isn't going to be often for the Ravens, but they do utilize him in 2-minute drills. Like one game, like right before half, he got like 4 catches and really bolster his numbers then. So just something to keep in mind with him. But Mitchell is a bit of a threat.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's Mormon missile.
Oh my God.
That's so awesome. All right, let's take a look at the teams here. So Jake, you were up first. God, just right here in my face. I pull it right up. Just the fucking goat G. So gay. All right, 2682. So stupid. All right, Brock Purdy, Matt Stafford, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Wright, Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Jacoby Myers, Kyle Williams, Wandale Robinson, Tutu Atwell, and Roman Wilson. I like the shot on Roman Wilson there. Tight ends, George Kittle and Dallas Goedert. Let's see. So you were doing really good with the buys. I still think overall you did well. You only got a couple guys. You have a couple guys on 8 here, but 2 of them are from the same team. So that kind of is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, overall, not a lot of overlap. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I mean, I like the elite running backs up top, and then you got these contingent guys, and with some standalone roles like Stevenson, like who does he have above Stevenson that I liked?
Jalen Warren.
Yeah, Warren's fine. Stevenson's fine. Jalen Wright, we'll see how he is year 2. There's definitely opportunity in that offense, and then now Nick Chubb. So yeah, I like that depth at running back for sure. And it's a lot of shots on late wide receivers to go behind, Adam Sutton and Judy. So and Myers. And Myers is another one. You mentioned him before, and I wrote him up in the eliminator format. Is last year he had 11 games with 10 or more points in 15, where Jaden Reed played 17 games. I think only had 8 games that did that, and they go roughly in the same 5 pick spot difference. And particularly in eliminator, or he's just such a strong floor play. And I just think he's very underrated, especially with a quarterback upgrade in Geno.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely probably would tend to go a 3 QB build with those 2 quarterbacks, like Purdy and Stafford. It feels okay. But again, it got ugly, and sometimes you just have to go with the 2-6-8 too. So
yeah.
Stephen WC just wanted to know where Dobbins went. He went the last pick of round 14.
Yeah, so there was some still value there.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. Overall, good team there, Jake. 2-6-8-2. As we went as well.
Fun fact too, my BBM team last year, finals team was 2-5-9-2. So.
All right. It's funny. My BBM4 final had 3 quarterbacks, and I'm just like, I just don't love going with 3 quarterbacks. But I do it. I understand that there's value in it. I do.
And it was Goff and Stroud, which was
shocking. But Stroud, yikes.
Yeah.
Goff really carried you.
Yeah.
Until he didn't, right? That was the problem.
Well, he actually had a good playoffs all along.
It was the BBM finals was so disappointing because my receivers performed. It was the running backs that killed me. Achane had a 5-point game. James Conner got hurt. So it was just brutal. Still got additional money from what I got from making the finals, but I think I finished 293rd. But it was just so sad that the week before Connors and Achane just smashed.
Went off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still cry at night thinking about how much T. Higgins I had and watching him just go off. I'll just never forget that. All right, Steve, on a lighter note, we went 2-6-8-2. Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, absolutely just stud combo right there. Yeah. Devon Achane, Joe Mixon, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad White, Roshan Johnson, and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. You're going to want to add that one to the list, ladies and gents. Just wait. He's going to make some flashy plays, and all the poo-pooingness on B-Rob here. Ja'Cory's going to pop his head up. Just watch.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Yeah. I mean, Steve, what, less than 1% owned in the entire BBM contest? I mean, unless there's an injury early on.
Yeah. This is the other thing. Since BBM lasts so long, if he goes out there first preseason game and just dominates or something, he could start getting drafted at a decent clip.
But yeah, he's going to be a fun, interesting little player there. All right, wide receivers: Puka Nacua, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, Matthew Golden, Jack Besh, Cedric Tillman, Keenan Allen, and Darius Slayton. Tight ends: Mark Andrews and Zach Ertz. I like it. I like it, Steve.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's strong across the board. Going just 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. I think both rooms have 2 very good options in there. Andrews and Ertz were both top 10 tight ends last year, and we're getting them Andrews going as tight end 10 and Ertz is tight end 23 or whatever. So yeah, I absolutely love that. Wide receiver room, strong up top, and then just a lot of upside plays with Golden, Betch, Tillman, these young guys, Allen and Slayton, particularly if Allen gets a good landing spot. Hey, what's going on? Big Draft Energy. I'm a big fan of this type of build. not a lot of risk, in my opinion, as long as they stay healthy. And yeah, I think both of our teams can advance. So I'm excited.
Yeah, feels good. Mike Raub says you drafted Debo as a tight end, right? Dude, looking like Jonnu Smith right now.
He's on that Zion diet. Zion
Yeah.
Williamson.
We saw, Keenan Allen had a pretty good year last year, and he came into camp fat Keenan. So
Yeah.
I mean, Debo's like, just coming a little overweight. We'll be fine. Yeah, good draft. And again, we didn't draft with anybody that we know, correct? I didn't see anyone chime in.
I didn't recognize any names. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So I mean, for everyone who doesn't know already, they got so Underdog just released contest. They got a ton for you guys. The sprint, the marathon, the big dog. If your pockets are a little deep, aka Steve-O here. BBM. Are you doing any, Steve? Are you doing one? Be honest with
Big
us.
Dog.
No?
The issue with Big Dog is like the Dalmatian, which is that too. But the Dalmatian has been 101 in 4 of 12 advanced. Still only 2 of 12 advanced in this. So yeah, not the biggest fan of that when you're putting up that much.
Okay. Then of course BBM. They got the Greyhound still out, single entry, $35. The Eliminator, the Puppy but Superflex, got the Schnauzer 2 for ballers on a budget. They got the Golden single entry, almost filled up at $10. I know I haven't. Jake, you said you didn't do yours either yet, right?
No, I finished mine before.
You did?
Before we drafted.
Okay, so I still got to get mine in there, and then of course weekly winners, and as always, they are running the Scott Fish Bowl satellite. So if you want to try to get into Scott Fish Bowl and you haven't been able to by via email invites, go ahead and get here. Top 510 win entry to Scott Fish Bowl 16 next year. Underdog just always providing us ways to spend our hard-earned money. We appreciate them as always. Jake, anything else going on? Anything else that you want to tell the people about?
No, I don't think so. I appreciate you guys having me on as always. It was nice to get back. So
Steve, Jake and I are both still continuing on with the Albatrosses.
Nice.
You and Meg are heading out. You guys are leaving tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
And then viewing Friday?
Going Friday and on Sunday.
Oh, Friday and
wow.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's where the finals money comes into play. Is they're like, you know what? We got to treat the old Shoups once in a while. I like it. Yeah, Steve and I, or Jake and I will be sweating out our Albatrosses trying to make it to the finals. Jake has 11 in. I only got 2 in. I had a lot less than him, but either way, we got some shekels in there.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you get a call or a text from one of us, it's like, all right, we need this player to start doing bad. We need you to go full Happy Gilmore and start going around. You will not make this putt, you jackass.
We'll see Steve running across the fairway. So yeah, it'd be nice. Be nice funding for best ball for the summer. We got, I think it's 400 to get in the finals. So we both have some shekels to try to get in there, and I think it's 50 grand up top. So always a really fun contest. So yeah, have fun. It's a blast. I haven't been to Oakmont, but Andrew and I did get. We're going to go to Aronimink next year for the PGA in Philadelphia. So
nice.
So yeah, I love going to the.
Yeah, I've never been to a tournament before, so I'm so excited.
This is a good one to go to. I mean, you're going to see some pissed off players. That is for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oakmont definitely hard course.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to answer Big Draft Energy's question.
Yeah.
I'm bullish on Travis Hunter. I think he has elite upside, and I think BTJ is number 1 there, but I think he's number 2. This could be a Chase Higgins type thing. And Liam Cohen comes from an offense last year where both Evans and Godwin were eating big time. So I think sky's the limit for Hunter. I think he's going to focus on offense. So he's going to be in the meeting rooms, running the routes appropriately. He's got the natural skills, but now he's going to focus on it. So I just feel sky's the limit. And, even at his current ADP, I'm taking him.
Yeah. Only if he stops dancing, maybe he'll be good. So.
Steve is doing the big dog on his other account, Meat Mountain 69. Nice. Solid work. Oh, all right. Well, hey, it has been fun. Jake, always appreciate you jumping on. I'm sure we'll be seeing you back in the streets with us once again. Steve, anything else that you want to tell the people outside of, again, a Fanspeak Best Ball subscription, $34.99. You get to see all the ins and outs of how to win these contests provided from the Shoup family. Steve, anything else for the people?
Yeah, this week we switched things up since we're traveling, but there's the DraftKings show tomorrow, and then I believe Fred's still doing a show on Friday. Next week we're going to be back to our relatively normal schedule, but I will start to be adding on some extra shows where I'll be drafting different times, some on the weekend, some throughout the week, sometimes with guests, sometimes just probably on my own. So just keep an eye out for that on our Twitter accounts and all that.
So question, are you thinking about opening a YouTube page here on the Fanspeak Network, of course, where when you're drafting teams, people can bid on being able to be your partner on this team so that when you do win a bunch of money, they bought into it? Is that a thought?
I wasn't going to go there, but I will have guests and we'll split equity if with the guests. But yeah.
All right. So we're going to have a lot of people sending you messages just asking to be the guest so they can get the equity in the team, right?
But as a person who has the subscription, it's so worth it. I've already been the other night I was drafting and I was like, I'm going to pull up rankings just because I don't really draft off rankings. So I was looking at rankings. The write-ups for the contests are awesome. So, it's super. They have awesome content out there. So get after it. It's $34. It can pay you thousands of dollars. So
there you go, people. That advice does come from a financial advisor, not financial. You can't like you quote that or deem that, but I'm just saying he does financial advice by the day. Bindle's checking in. Good evening. Sup Bindles. Also, if you guys haven't been paying attention or following along to the Best Ball Jeopardy, you should be. You can go back and watch them all. But the lineup for the coming stuff is absolutely absurd. I was hold on, where is this? I tweeted it. Hold on here. It is so coming up June 18th, Fantasy Dog Pound, our buddy Pat versus Bindles in the chat. That'll be a fun one. June 25th, we got Justin Herzig, Mr. BBM1 winner himself, going head to head with Steve. This is a meeting of the minds. Steve absolutely crushed the competition last year. Herzig, though, very good best baller himself. So, Steve, you met your match, but if we're betting, you are the odds-on favorite for sure. No offense, Justin. We love Justin over here, but Steve, you are just absolutely crushing it. And then July 2nd, Mr. Pete Overzet, the man who did stream all of his drafts, taking on Neil Orfold, who did also stream all of his drafts and is now the oldest player to stream all of his BBM drafts. Those are three electric matchups coming up for you people. So if you haven't already, please make sure you are watching the Best Ball Jeopardy. There is a schedule out. I retweeted it. Megan did tweet it. Save it. You can put it as your phone background if you want. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't, just saying it's available. And it is just going to be awesome to watch those. So make sure you are tuning into Fantasy Jeopardy back next week. We appreciate everyone here. For Steve, for Jake, I am your TD King. We will see you all later.